What up, kinfolk? It's your boy Screwfacecapone in the house. It's Monday, which means it's time for everyone's favorite part of the week, 5-Bit News, where I take a look at 5 news articles from the world of gaming. Also, because I'm in a good mood this week, I'm going to add in an extra 6. 1. Because I'm such a nice guy. And of course, I'm going to include this week's Screwfacecapone's pick. Formerly known as Cool Sugar Honey Iced Tea, I'm giving it a new renaming. But still, cool stuff coming through. So, I hope you like the new intro. I'm always experimenting with stuff and trying new ideas. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know when I put out new videos. I got new stuff on the way and you're not going to want to miss it. So I know a lot of you are watching these videos, but you aren't subscribed. So you subscribed and that helps me out as a content creator, and you get to be the first to know when I put out new stuff. So this week's edition, the real Leroy Jenkins is going to be joining World of Warships. The Epic Game Store will be expanding by adding applications. Riot lands itself in hot water once again thanks to one of its co-founders' tweets about critical race theory. Mother 3 receives a fan-created English patch 15 years after its original release. Sony is adding movies and TV shows to its PlayStation Plus service. And finally, Blaze Entertainment lifts the curtain back on Evercade Versus. So now that we got the preliminaries out the way, let's hop in. Alright, if you're a gamer, then no doubt you're familiar with the name Leroy Jenkins, or rather the World of Warcraft meme, Leroy Jenkins. It usually describes a player who runs off on his own and gets himself and his whole team killed because of his rashness. But before that, Leroy Jenkins was the name of a U.S. Navy veteran who participated in the Korean War. And to commemorate him, Wargaming is giving players a chance to unlock him as a playable character in the game World of Warships. So let's go to the browser. So you'll have to complete one of 2 in-game quest lines, and you'll get a chance to add him to the game. So he joined the military after being drafted for the army, but he was given a choice to join the Navy instead. He served above the USS Kidd during the Korean War, and of course he had to deal with the prejudice and racism during that period, but he was able to rise above that. He had a brief baseball career with the San Diego Padres, and later, when the USS Kidd was decommissioned and turned into a museum, he was brought on to serve as a curator to that. And I'll post a link to this page because this is the first time I'm finding out a lot about this stuff, but I think this is very cool and a great way to commemorate an important part of black history, American history, of course, because black history is American history. So Leroy Jenkins put some respect on that name. By the way, the event started last Thursday, and it's going on. It'll be going on through and it will end next Sunday, May 2nd. So, if you play World of Warships, then this is something you'll want to check out. I'm not too familiar with it, but I do think this is pretty cool. So once again, Leroy Jenkins, put some respect on that name. Now that I think about it, I wonder if Activision's looking at this and considering adding him as an actual World of Warcraft character. I don't know what I would make of that. Well, moving on. So Epic seems to be going all in with their digital content platform. Despite the fact that it may not turn a profit for another few years, as I reported a few weeks ago, Epic is focusing on expanding its game store and offering more content and more varieties of content. So recently they've added apps to their game store. So right now you can go there and you can purchase Krita, which is a digital painting application. You can also download iHeartRadio, There's KinShape, a voxel 3D model program. There's Brave, which is an open source browser, and most notably, there's itch.io, which is a distribution platform for indie titles. Basically, developers can host their games on there and set their price for them. You might have come across it once or twice. And if you're subscribed to Fortnite Crew between now and the 30th, and you don't currently have a Spotify subscription, then you can get the first 3 months of premium for free. So I have Spotify, so that's a pretty good service. So if you're in the Fortnite Crew, then I guess that's a good value. So the Epic Games Store launched in 2018 and recently caught a lot of heat for paying for exclusive titles and time exclusives. Most notably games like Metro Exodus and also Borderlands 3 having a timed exclusivity on the platform. But there are some good things. They offer developers and publishers a bigger share of the profits, and they also give out free games every week, which they're still continuing despite losing money off it. Also, if you're an Unreal Engine developer, you can go there and purchase Unreal Engine assets. So there's a lot of mixed feelings about it, but personally, to me, I don't mind. Steam needs some competition. Now I'll take it back. The platform is missing some key features like a shopping cart and cloud support. But then again, I think more competition in the marketplace is ultimately a good thing, and I don't want to seem like too much of a Debbie Downer, and so hopefully Epic can get their game store to what it needs to be in order to be that alternative to Steam. But then again, it's like you can really have them both because it takes you like less than 5 minutes to install, really. So no doubt we'll be seeing more apps on Epic Games Store and more new features coming through. So let me know what you think. So speaking of expansion, it looks like Sony is looking to expand its PlayStation Plus service by adding video and streaming content. So earlier this week, they confirmed that they're going PlayStation Plus Video Pass is going to be a trial service that's going to be testing in Poland for a year. And right now, they're going to offer this amount of movies. You got Bloodshot, Sausage Party, Venom, Bad Boys, and a selection of TV shows. So here's a little banner that showed up on PlayStation on its servers a while back. You can see. Here's a little bigger version. So apparently in Poland you're gonna get a new PlayStation Plus streaming app, and apparently it's gonna be a year long. So of course there's no telling when or what this is gonna hit other regions, but I imagine once it do, it'll obviously have a bigger library than what you see here. So it's probably gonna do something with either its PS Now or its PlayStation Plus in order to kind of make it competitive with Game Pass, or maybe make their own version of Game Pass. So one thing that Game Pass doesn't have, the Xbox Game Pass, is any kind of movie or streaming, and because obviously that's focused on games, obviously, but with the PlayStation Plus Video Pass, I think that if they have a substantial library, then that could add on some more meat to the PlayStation Plus subscription, along with the free games, the free perks, and the discounts. You also get this built-in streaming service. Now they're obviously gonna have a greater variety. They're obviously gonna need a greater variety of content, obviously. So I don't want to say compete with Netflix, because you're basically getting this stuff free with the PS Plus, if this is going the way I think of it. But this could be ultimately this could be a good thing, especially if you watch a lot of movies and film. Because remember, Sony also has like multiple studios under its name, and they've also recently acquired Crunchyroll, and I think they're also looking to acquire Funimation. If this thing goes worldwide, then you could have this big streaming. Then you could be getting this big streaming service with not only movies, but maybe a selection of TV shows and anime. And really, it wouldn't be so much a competitor like the Netflix and the Hulu's, because you'd be getting it for free along with the PlayStation Plus your PlayStation Plus subscription. So ultimately, yeah, this could be a way that they could add on some meat to its PlayStation Plus and have its version of it'll be like its version of Game Pass. So like, subscribe to PlayStation Plus and you can play online games, and you'll get free games a month, and you can watch all these great movies and TV shows and anime. Of course, most of this is speculation, and right now this is on test in Poland, and it's going to be testing for a year. So who knows how this is going to pan out, but I think we'll learn more about it as the year goes on. 15 years ago, the game Mother 3 was released on Game Boy Advance. It is a sequel to the SNES classic Earthbound. However, Nintendo has shown no interest in bringing the RPG over to US shores. So naturally, that is where the emulation scene comes into play. As no doubt several fan translations and patches have showed up for the game, and we'll be getting a new one just in time for its 15th anniversary. And this update is coming thanks to Italian translator Lorenzo. Let me click his site. So he's a translator, and basically he's working on not only translating the text for Mother, but also working out bugs and getting it to run smoother. I guess as long as Nintendo refuses to bring this game over here, we're gonna have guys like him adding in quality of life upgrades and translations just so people can play it. Now, this article from Kotaku also notes that that Nintendo hasn't tried to remove the fan translation from the internet as of yet, but I'm not surprised if I see a DMCA takedown in the future. Knowing how bad they go after fan games and stuff like that. I mean, everybody remembers what happened with the another Metroid 2 remake, but I think that if they do, then that might spur them on to finally make a version of this game for Switch. Of course, if the whole Mario All-Stars debacle taught us anything, then it's probably going to be a limited time release or some other BS. But yeah, if you like Mother 3 and you've been waiting on playing it, then this is something you're going to want to check out. And I'll post a link to his social media so you can learn more about it. So that is Mother 3. Warning: the following segment features material of a political or social nature. If you wish to avoid a discussion on critical race theory, then skip ahead to the time code listed below. If you're still watching past this point, I don't want to hear any bitching about stick to games. I warned you, you didn't listen. Socio-political content will be beginning momentarily. This is your last chance to back out. Well, it looks like Riot Games has managed to step into the shit again. So, it's not enough for the developer of Valorant and League of Legends to be dragged for its toxic workplace culture, or to be sued by at least one of its ex-employees for gender discrimination, sexual harassment. Now they decide to dabble into racism. Well, at least Mark Merrow, co-founder of Riot Games. So earlier this week, first let me back up for a little bit. So obviously, You might have heard the term critical race theory. All it really is simply empowering people to think about systematic racism and the effect that it's had on American institutions, particularly for people of color. I mean, no doubt, with the recent George Floyd verdict and the controversy surrounding police brutality, that's part. This is part of why this has become more and more of a hot button issue in recent years. However, people among the right have tended to label that as the boogeyman, like label it as some kind of communist or Marxist or whatever, really not understanding what any of those terms mean. And most notably, you had Donald Trump pushing his 1776 commission, which was thankfully disbanded by Joe Biden. And what that would do is basically whitewash American history and push back against and reduce or eliminate teachings of critical race theory. But of course, nowadays you still got people among the right who are trying to use that as some kind of boogeyman, and it's been the same thing as always been. It's not that they're interested in solving racism, it's just that they don't want to discuss it. So back to our topic. So recently, Christopher Rufo, who recently wrote an article about talk about critical race theory and why it's a threat to America or whatever. And of course, Mark Merrill earlier this week tweeted and quoted said article, adding to it, above all, we must have the courage, the fundamental virtue required in our time, courage to stand and speak the truth, courage to withstand epithets, courage to face the mob, and courage to shrug off the scorn of elites. Who the fuck do you think you are, Rosa Parks kinfolk? Anyway, so after being slammed for it, of course, he then later deleted the tweet and decided to play it off a little bit. As they said to Jeff Luke, I'm a fan of MLK's common humanity moral framework, yada yada yada, not the common enemy. So if you're familiar with right-wing discourse and whatnot, then no doubt you'll notice that they bring up MLK whenever discussions about race come up. Of course, what they won't tell you is that a number of things, like the same people who bring him up now, they were the ones who had him. They will likely be the ones who had been arrested. Would have had him arrested. What am I trying to say? Basically, back in the days, MLK was gaslit, arrested, and he was assassinated. So, and at the time of his death, he had a very low approval rating. And among the people who disapproved of him were the people who bring his name up today. So, again, it's kind of funny that he's bringing up, once again, he's bringing up MLK, but as Kotaku points out, they obviously don't, he obviously ignored or is unfamiliar with his letter from a Birmingham jail, or this particular quote. Let's see. I must make two honest confessions to you, my Christian Jewish brothers. First, I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in his stride toward freedom is not the white citizens' counselor or the KKK, but the white moderate, who is devoted to order than justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice, who constantly says, I agree with you in the goal you seek, but I cannot agree with your methods of direct action, who paternalistically believes he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by a mythical concept of time, and who constantly advises the Negro to wait for a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. I had hoped the white moderate would understand that law and order exist for the purpose of establishing justice, and that when they fail in this purpose, They become the dangerously structured dams that block the flow of social progress. I had hoped that the white moderate would understand that the present tension in the South is a necessary phase of the transition from an obnoxious negative peace, in which the Negro passively accepted his unjust plight, to a substantive and positive peace in which all men will respect the dignity and worth of human personality. Actually, we who engage in non-violent direct action are not the creators of tension. We merely bring to surface the hidden tension that is already alive. We bring out in the open where it can be seen and dealt with, like a bowl that can never be cured so long as it is covered up, but must be opened with all its ugliness to the natural medicines of air and light. Injustice must be exposed with all the tension it exposed creates to the light of human conscience, in the air of national opinion, before it can be cured. Okay, so yeah, in short, basically, Merrill got called on his bullshit, and of course, he, like many among the right who denounce any discussion of critical race theory, he falls back on MLK as if he somehow knew what he said, not realizing that he had words for people like that. So yeah, in short, Riot dumped into some controversy at a time where it really doesn't need said controversy. And I apologize if I seem biased, but I'm only biased some of the time, and at least I'll admit it. Last but not least, for the past few weeks, Blaze Entertainment has been advertising something called Evercade Versus, and there's a lot of speculation on what that meant. For those of you who don't know, the Evercade is a handheld game system which runs on cartridges. I did an unboxing of this a few weeks ago, so please check that out. And the cartridges feature several licensed games from studios such as Namco, Data East, and even indie developers like Mega Cat Studios. So they pulled the curtain back on their Evercade Versus, and what it is, it's a console which you can play the cartridges on. So let's take a look at the trailer for it. Yeah, so that is the Evercade Versus. One thing I want to point back to is when they're showing like all the games that are out now. They had this thing called What Is This Then? So looks like we might be getting at least one new mystery cartridge. Who knows who that would be? Now here is the site. As you can see, it's up to 4 players. You can add dual cartridges. You can even use your own Evercade as a controller. So this is cool. So obviously my only beef with the Evercade handheld is that you can't play any multiplayer on it because the design simply won't allow it. This one pretty much takes care of that problem. So You can play like most of the cartridges on it, and you can put your email address so you'll be notified when it's ready to pre-order. So once again, if you're an old school collector, then this is definitely going to be something on your radar. I definitely like the handheld system, and I like the little cartridge format, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one. And also, I kind of hope like they add in additional companies. I'd love to see like a Capcom, maybe a Sega, who else? More Atari. Who am I trying to think of? Maybe some SNK and Neo Geo titles. That would be awesome. But yeah, this is the Evercade Versus. Let me know what you think about it. Welcome to Screwfacecapone's Pick of the Week, formerly known as Cool Shit, where I take a look at something cool, gaming related or otherwise. This week, you know I had to take a look at Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All 6 episodes are now up on Disney Plus. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan hold it down once again as the title characters. Daniel Bruhl returns as Baron Zemo, and he's finally rocking his purple hood, while Ryan Russell does a great job as not Captain America. There are some cool surprises along the way with hints of where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going next. If you haven't done so yet, check this series out. If nothing else, it'll help tide you over until the MCU returns to theaters later this year. By the way, check out WandaVision if you haven't done so already. It's good too. Alright, thanks for joining me. That was this week's edition of 5-Bit News. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like what you just saw, click the thumbs up icon and make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. That's important because I know a lot of you like these videos, but the majority of you who are watching them aren't subscribed. So if you subscribe, that helps me out, and it helps. And you get to learn when I put out new videos. Plus, I get to learn about what videos everybody likes and figure out how to tailor the content to my audience. Because I got lots of stuff coming out, and you're not going to want to miss it. But until then, I hope you have a great week. Until next time, I'm Audi 51000G, kinfolk.